Oh my gosh, we're started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest and greatest show here in the internet. It's the Storm. Woo,
Woo.
woo.
We made it.
Big day, big day. Everybody survived their travel days. It was a crazy weekend, a lot of fugazi, a lot of tomfoolery, some absolute degeneracy. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, it was crazy. Me and Ray here, we were there at Miami, going absolutely insane. But that's just life, baby. That's just life. It is what it is. It is what it
The
is.
pit was pitting this weekend.
The pit was pitting. Look, ladies and gentlemen, let's break it down for you. I got none other than two of the most handsomest men in the Call of Duty scene. You've heard him. You've seen him. He's came quick. He's came fast, but he's never shown up late for dinner. It is Lightning the Jug. What's up? What's up, Mike? You've seen him in the lanes. You've seen him in as he came. It's Lightning the Joke. What is up, Mike? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited. Honestly, this is the first episode back in a while, so I'm really excited to be here.
It's great. It's great to see you. Great to hear from you. And then coming in to help out, bring some extra perspective. He's 6 foot. He's 6 inch. I mean, he's really there. He's all the girth, all the present. He is the man, the myth. You see him in the pit. The man stands out from above. He's a giant amongst midgets. It is Fios Ray. Ray, what's up, Ray? How you doing?
The girth is here.
The girth is here. I am fucking Groot. I was wobbling my way around Miami, but we made it. We got there. Some technical issues, but we're not gonna get into that now.
It's all good. It's all good. It was so funny because this weekend I was working with Esports Engine in the CDL, being an admin, doing refereeing and stuff like that. And I look amongst the crowd, and I see this giant, this beautiful mammoth of a man, and I'm like, oh my god, it's Ray. And I always gotta dap up the paisan, the
get
man.
Get out now. Get out.
Gotta. It's always a beautiful time seeing Ray, but great to have you gentlemen on board. We got a lot to talk about this week. I mean, the major was absolutely insane. Just taking a little picture real quick just to kind of see how things went. I mean, within that first round, before we get towards the top four, I mean, it was kind of expected. We saw some things. I mean, the biggest surprise for me, at least, was this FaZe LA Thieves game. This FaZe LA Thieves game. LA Thieves were about to 3-0 FaZe. It was the craziest scenario. Dan Ghosty was doing his thing, absolutely slamming. But then, the boys lost gas, and, those FaZe boys, when you give them an inch, I mean, they'll take a mile. And, I mean, it's absolutely insane. No way. Is that the Bulldog himself? Mr. Kismet? Holy.
Appreciate it.
Kismet, you absolute beast.
Oh,
big
my
shout
goodness.
out
The
to
big bulldog right
the
there.
big bulldog. Oh my god, I'm in love. I'm in love. The man. Oh my gosh, you are a beauty amongst everybody. Freaking absolutely insane. I mean, we were gonna talk about him pretty soon with the later on topics, but hey. Big shout out to the Bulldog. Can we get a big round of applause? I mean, top three, the man, the team, they're doing absolutely amazing things. Shout out to those guys. I was at the Challengers pit, so I couldn't be barking up a storm. But I mean, whenever I would hear him come on the stage and you hear the fans roaring and barking, I mean, big shout out to that guy, man. I absolutely love him. Big shout out. But let's get it rolling. But I mean, that FaZe LA Thieves game was absolutely insane. I mean, straight from the get-go, those guys were just cooking with gas. But, like most engines, when they run out of gas, I mean, there was no more mobility, no more motion, and unfortunately had to slow down. And like I say, you give FaZe an inch, man, they take it extensively. So, unfortunately for them, they got swept
Yeah.
there. The biggest one that I was really worried about, the homestand crowd, Miami Heretics. They came in, they got slammed by Optic, which I mean, looking at the skill comparison, understandable. But then they go up against the Ravens, and it doesn't even look like there's much of a fight in those boys.
Yeah.
What were you thinking, Mike?
These guys have yet
Or
to
Ray.
win a map. They have yet to win a map on LAN.
That's scary.
Some questionable things,
That's
especially
scary.
in your own home major. You got to come out and show out. Like, yeah, you're playing a top 3 team, and then you're going into you lose that 3-0. That was almost expected. But then you go into like a Carolina team, and you just got to take one of those series. You got to take one of those maps.
You got it.
Yeah, I would think at least one map. The fact that they're haven't won a singular map on LAN is actually kind of wild, and the fact that it was your own home series and you still couldn't pull one out kind of blows. And I feel bad for the boys. I really do. It's crazy because I think they're actually really good, but I guess it's only online, man. I don't know. Under those lights, some people change. That's just how it is. But
You got to think sound EQ might be a factor.
exit lag maybe. I don't know. Something.
User interface. I don't know, man. But there's definitely a change coming, and we did see that Real, or as he likes to say it, because I did talk to him last year, and I said, "Do you prefer Real or Real?" And he said, "If you can add that nice little pizzazz to it, that accento, then that would make it all the better." But Real, he's got his visa. He's looking good. He's ready to run it. I mean, the guy. He's looking fantastic. He's in opportunity to make a big change. But I think Miami just might have to blow it up. I think there just needs to be some big foundational change. I don't know if one player is going to be able to really do that. I mean, they did just let go of Journey, I believe it was, just recently. So I mean, there's some shakeups going down, and I as a viewer appreciate that, and as a caster love to see when that type of thing gets going. But Royal Ravens, I mean, they were making some moves. They were doing some good things. I mean, you saw them 3-0 the Heretics. They win that Game 5 against Legion. And it looks like Clay's about to make a Clay run. He's about to lead the Wolves, But unfortunately, like the man himself, the big dog, Kismet. I mean, they put him down pretty convincingly. I mean, the top 4 are the top 4 for a reason. That's what happens when you have a skill gap COD. You have the absolute disparity. Those Cinderella runs get shushed immediately. And that's kind of the same thing that happened with the Los Angeles Gorillas. I mean, Kevin Pham, he's been doing his thing. Vios, the coach, they've been really working at it. I've been seeing that culture change on the daily. Estrella, Assault's been coming back too into that form. And I mean, literally, they 3-1 LA Thieves. They beat the Minnesota Rockers 3-1. But then, like I said, that top 4, it's just a big disparity. They go up against the Toronto Ultra. They get beaten pretty convincingly. They did come out with the map, though. So, they are cutting above the rest when it comes to their compatriots down there in the bottom, 8, the top 8 teams. What did you think, Ray, about, the Royal Ravens and LAG coming out here?
Since adding Fellow and TJ, I've seen a lot of improvement in this team, and I do think in due time, when these guys start finding their way and start like locking in towards the end half of the season, I think they're gonna make some noise. I really do.
What do you think, Mike?
Of LAG, Mr.
That team is a friendship team. We need to get Gunless back in the scene. We need to get something back, because these boys, like they look so good at times, and then they just throw, and it doesn't make sense. Because you see, like, I think it's Estrel. Estrel's just doing everything on the map. You have Fame going back to his old routes. Like, this team is so good on paper. They just need to like lock it in or blow it up. One of the two.
In my opinion, I think with LAG, I think honestly they're a really good team. I know that they're gonna be better on LAN just because I know the players themselves. And I feel like we've seen it so many times where these guys have been so close to beating some really, really good teams. I mean, even online, like a couple weeks ago or whatever, LAG beat FaZe, and I thought
Yeah.
that was that was wild.
That was a shocker series. I'm not
That
gonna lie to
was
you.
wild. I think we're beginning to maybe even see them locking in right now. I think they're definitely the better of like the mid-tier teams, like definitely probably some of the better mid-tier teams for sure. And I think whenever they actually get like locked in a little bit, as you were saying, I think they can maybe even break a top four, maybe even. I don't know. I mean, fifth and sixth is pretty good. I think they could bet if they lock in, bro. I definitely see them getting a top four at least minimum for sure. I just have a lot of faith in my boys, but with the Ravens, I'm not even gonna know. I'm not gonna hold you guys. I don't know how they're doing really that good. I think Gwyn is going crazy. He's looking like the rookie of the year right now. I think Clay. I'm just a big fan. Clay just I mean, that guy's just a winner, bro. Like he's been doing it for years, and I can't lie to you. I don't know how TJ's on the roster. Maybe when we get someone else, they'd probably be top four. I don't know. I think Fellow's pretty good. He's been proving himself for a while, but
I would like to see no bullshit. I'd like to see Capsule on this team.
Cap, you think?
I feel like Cap with his aggressive play style matches Gwyn, and it'll just add speed to this team. I think that's
Yeah.
what they need.
I mean, Real also got his visa back, wasn't he? Didn't TJ fill in for him? Like, didn't he like?
But they let him go. They let him go, and that's why
Of
he's on
course.
Miami's roster right now. So
Yeah.
Miami have potential to do something big with that. But the thing is, I just feel like this Ravens squad is like at the precipice of a potential, top six, roster, placement. I mean, they finished 5th through 6th.
Yeah.
They clearly have it in the tank. They're just at the precipice, quite literally, to be able to get themselves maybe into that Champ Sunday. But I feel like you got to have Gwyn and Tej going absolutely insane. I mean, you've got the leadership from Clay. You've got Felony, who's doing his thing, working it as well. But I just feel like if we just have a little bit more solidification, especially with these new maps coming in, this could be a big changeup. We know how Tej is. Tej is, very much within his world whenever he plays. And with a map like Vista coming in, I could potentially see something changing within that, that mindset of the team.
Vista is coming in. That's so crazy.
They started in losers, if I'm not correct, right?
Yeah,
They
they were
started in losers.
very much in losers
gotta-
round 1.
I feel like if this team starts, if you give them a winners bracket like run, I feel like they go a lot deeper in tournaments. They just gotta lock it in online. Whether it's getting a facility somewhere, whether it's like starting to play in Texas or something, but I don't know if the internet has that much factor with these guys. But they gotta start trying to make these winner bracket runs.
Yeah, I mean, something's got to give. Something definitely has got to give on that roster. But I mean, they're like I said, they've got that gusto. They got the energy for it when it comes to LAN. It's just like you said. It's just the online, games. We're gonna need to see something change there. LAG. I mean, those two teams, LAG and Ravens have been able to like kind of make some big difference changes in their culture, in the way that they're playing, and clearly it's very evident in the pudding of the facts. So. They just unfortunately not able to get through to that top 4. And it's like what I was saying earlier. That top 4, they're just so much better. Their skill level compared to these two in the bottom 5th and 6th, absolutely just differentials like we've never seen before. Grand Canyon levels. I mean, looking at it, kind of moving on into like the meta switching and kind of these nerdier plays, how these players are playing. I mean, we saw right here Hydra, NYSL going up against Toronto Ultra. Look, Toronto Ultra, they're your Major 1 champions, and rightfully so. But the thing is, when you're at the top for so long, teams are going to really be able to study how you play, how you're getting things done. They're watching those VODs. They're taking notes. They're looking up nerd spots like this on how they're going to counter you. They know how your teammates are playing, and they're not going to stop. So when you have the bottom 3 teams that after that post-Major 1, like NYSL, like Optic, like FaZe, they're going to make some big differentials in their playing. and it clearly is evident like this.
Yeah, they're world champs from last year for a reason. I mean, Hydra and his wallbangs this event were insane. The Palace one to A bomb, I don't think anyone knew about, and the fact that this guy is just banging these paper thin walls, like this game has to like change
Yeah.
because these wall that like this wall bang specifically, like this was actually insane to watch.
Yeah, it was really mind boggling, and kind of something to note real quick because I know we have a lot of people that are probably looking at stats as well. NYSL did bow out within that first losers round one, but I mean that was against Royal Ravens, and it's kind of like what we harped on a little bit before, how Ravens kind of have that gusto, that energy that like if they could just pole vault themselves over, then like they could potentially get themselves into that top four. And I remember it was probably a bad weekend for the subliners, but you know, all's well ends well. And I mean, clearly their showing was a lot more evident within this weekend. What'd you think, Mike?
I think as Ray said that they are world champs for a reason, and I just a lot of people on the timeline were giving them crap for like pulling out all this cheese or whatever. But bro, I mean, this isn't like a stair glitch or something like this. Like this is like they went into a private match and went over this for like at least hours, like trying to find weird spots like this. Like I don't think this is cheese. I think this is just straight up dedication. I think it's like passion gap, to be honest with you. I think especially the Caesar Skies nade, the one where he threw it on Karachi and got a three piece with that car,
Yeah.
bro. Like that must have taken forever to find. Like the perfect timing, perfect spot for that. Like that, and the freaking Hydra wallbang on Invasion. I mean, I'm sure you saw it in that video or whatever. But like for whoever found that, I think that like
Oh,
that's like a
shout out
passion
Mo
gap. I don't.
Cryptic.
Yeah,
Shout
I
out
don't see
Mo
that as cheese, bro. A lot of people were bashing him on the TL that I saw, and I was like, dude, honestly, I give him respect. Like that's crazy.
And these
It
are
really
normally
is.
things you see that like Shotzi does because like Shotzi's actually known for going into these private matches and just finding jump spots, finding wall bangs, nade spots.
Yeah.
And to see like other teams actually picking up on it is actually really impressive.
I do think that they're gonna be the game is gonna like be fixed though. Like I genuinely think Activision or someone like whoever's running this would be like, okay, you should not be able to wallbang a whole entire like 3 walls through a building to kill someone on invasion from Palace. You know what I mean? Like I think that's probably gonna be the last time. Especially this probably brought so much eyes on this one specific spot at the gamer like the makers are gonna be like, all right, bro, we this shouldn't be like allowed. Like I feel like they're gonna change it. So I
Yeah.
feel like we're not really gonna have to worry about it later on, but I respect subliners for finding these crazy things. To be honest with you,
Another thing to go into ordnance gloves. I mean, are we throwing Kobe's across? Like we're throwing Kobe's across Karachi. Do you guys see like ordnance getting G8 eventually?
in World War II, actually, there was a I forgot. I want to say it was like something that you can use. It was like there was like airborne
Strong
and
arm.
like other
Yeah.
stuff like that. Maybe strong arm. I don't know, but you could you were able to throw like frag grenades or something throughout like the whole buildings, and it wasn't GA'd. People just didn't use it because it wasn't that good. Like there was other better things that you could use.
Mhm.
But so I wouldn't see it getting GA'd simply because there is other better things that you could use. But like on S&D for like a round or two, maybe pull it out. Who knows? I don't. A lot of people are soft nowadays. We be G'ing everything, so I don't know.
I mean, honestly, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I feel like it's gonna stay within the game. I feel like it kind of adds a whole new level to the game. I mean, it gives util usage a lot more lateral and horizontal, usage. I mean, like you said, I mean, we're seeing some players throw some Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, QB1, Hail Mary down to the line, absolute dime of some nades.
QB1.
And I mean, and I'm here for it. I mean, if you are a team that is mechanically gifted in that sense, where you know where these spots are, like you said, they've got that Shotzi-esque mindset where they know where those nerd areas are, that Celium, nerd spots, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. That just shows the homework that these teams are doing and the level of preparation that they're having to upset teams in this capacity like NYSL did to Toronto. you know. So, kind of moving on from that because I mean the meta is definitely shifting and we're seeing some good, introductions of some new things, which I'm a big fan of. But we got to talk about the finals because it was absolutely insane. The finals went absolutely crazy. It was Optic versus FaZe, the classic showdown. It's bigger than red and green, baby. It's bigger than red and green. I mean, literally, let's look at the stats real quick because they went in at each other, I believe, in the winners final, if I'm correct, here. And my goodness, I mean, literally, it was absolute, Malice in the Palace level of just insanity. Yeah, you go right here. You're in the final 3-1. Atlanta FaZe beat you. It looks pretty close. I mean, you look at the stats right here. Some nail biters. What did you think, Ray, watching it there live?
I mean, from going down 0-2 to a potential like bottom 12 team to winning an event, you just have to see like these guys are so talently like gifted. The trio of Celium, Simp, and Beezy. I mean, this guy Beezy finds first bloods that I don't know how he does it. And you can't with teams like that. You can't give them inches because, like you said, they just take the whole mile. And you saw it here. They won the event.
Yeah. What'd you think, Mike?
Honestly, I've always thought FaZe was a top 3 minimum team, so I'm not surprised that they won, nor I'm more surprised that Optic made it to them, to be honest with you. I know that in the first half of the season, Optic wasn't really looking that good, and I didn't think they were going to be that good, and then I don't know, they flipped the switch and they've gotten so much better. Honestly, I would say on the back of like Shotzzy getting better or like feeling more comfortable maybe. I mean, he's just been looking like a superstar recently. So I think that's really what it's been. They've just gotten so much better as a squad. But FaZe is no surprise to me. Like I said, I just think they've always been a top 3 team, so I'm not surprised at all. I'm more surprised that it was really this close a little bit, to be honest.
Yep, 1 or 2 more kills, it really goes. It could flip the other way.
Yeah.
And I hope these Optic guys like start locking in more and like start digesting these maps a lot more and expanding their map pool, because you don't have a team of Shotzi, Pred, Kenny, and Dash and not expect to win championships.
Yeah, it is quite literally a stacked roster. I mean, I can't remember who said it. I think it might have been Aches, but when you're playing on Optic and you're their franchise player, I mean, you get to pick whoever you want. Literally whoever you want. You got an organization that's going to have fans that are going to back you up, to the day you die. Now, while at the same time they're backing you up, they're also keeping you under a microscope. And we kind of saw that happen, kind of derailing real quick. We kind of saw that happen with the whole Pred controversy where they were talking about, that Pred was out till 2 a.m. and the fans went crazy, going out till 2 a.m. before grand finals night. And I mean, that happened last year at Vegas too. They were like, Shotzi was at the, Shotzi, Pred, all these guys, they were out doing all these things, it's a great organization, but also you're kind of under a microscope, and the fans can have their ways with the court of public opinions on you, and you just kind of have to take it and, take it with a grain of salt, but
yeah, I mean, him going out definitely didn't have that much impact because he still came out that Sunday absolutely cooking. So maybe he should have stayed out till 3 a.m. You never know the difference on it.
Yeah,
he stays out a little longer. He gets a little better.
Nah.
I mean, if I'm in Miami, bro, I'm going out. Like, simple as that. Like, I'm going out, especially from a pro, having a good time. If I saw him, if I was like, he was my favorite player or whatever, my favorite team, and I knew he was gonna be playing grand finals the next day, I would have bought him a shot, bro. Like, I'd been like, yo, good luck tomorrow. Like, I'm so happy to. Bro, come on. You're in Miami. You're gonna have fun. Like, come on. I mean, that's just how I see it. I do understand not to get messed up. Like, I'm not saying have a hangover tomorrow for your game. Like, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, yeah, go out, have a good time. You're in Miami, bro. Like, life is short. Like, go enjoy yourself.
Everyone has their different ways to lock in, and I guess Preds is going.
I mean,
going
look at
out
him.
to a bar.
I mean, yeah, look at how Pred looks, bro, and tell me he's not locked. You know he was out there locked. Like, he was. Come on.
Yeah.
He had to be. I mean, he had to be when you go absolutely this close in the grand finals. I mean, you beat Toronto. I mean, you go crazy in the losers final. You come back, and then you're in the grand finals. And now look how close. Look how close these matchups were. I mean, quite literally to the T. To the T. that Karachi hardpoint 224 to 250. Then Optic managed to get one map in that search and destroy terminal, and that's exactly what happened with the other series. They managed to only get
Yeah,
one map in that one
round
too.
11 total.
Yeah, and then they go to the literal max 2 to 3 in the control, 227 to 250, doing a little bit better than the Karachi hardpoint, and then search and destroy 4 to 6. I mean, them boys had their hearts on their sleeves.
Yeah. Every map was really, really close.
Kenny,
It was a fight
especially
every-
that invasion when Kenny pops 4 when he shouldn't have popped 4. I mean, you just can't. It just wasn't in their favor for this event, especially when they go into that Rio S&D. I mean, you're getting blooded almost every round on a map you don't really play. You gotta those later maps that your team doesn't really play. You just gotta expand your map pool and just get better on those.
And kind of taking a little bit of a look back to what we saw in that major one. I mean, I got the stat here on my phone, but they lost to Atlanta FaZe again in that first major. They went down, 3-1 again, and it was pretty crazy. I mean, they were on that terminal hard point, their map one. They lost 169 to 250. I mean, that's absolutely crazy to see the difference in the Karachi 224 to 250, and then from that major one, 169 to 250. I mean, goodness gracious, like it's a night and day difference. You come back at it, then you lose, unfortunately, in the grand finals. You get out of that losers final for major one, come to major two, you're in the grand finals, and unfortunately for them, Atlanta FaZe just go absolutely insane. Like you said, the thing is, like, Abeezy's flow state is just something to be studied, man. Simp, I mean, he's always consistent. That man Simp, he's Mr. MVP for a reason. I mean,
He's the GOAT. I can't lie, bro.
he is the next, like, king. He is.
Yeah. It's just this trio, you match them with theoretically any AR and they're making finals. But the fact that they have another player in Draza who brings in this, he may have those bad maps, but he brings in this passion that most people just don't have anymore, and he really you see it here. They win the whole major, and who's to come for Toronto?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be crazy because this top four, FaZe, New York, freaking Ultra, Optic, those four. I mean, they're gunning, and they're not stopping. Their level of skill. I mean, it just reminds me of like Cold War. Seeing Ultra Optic, not Ultra Optic, Ultra FaZe, within that skill gap, just absolutely slamming and hammering. And this kind of thing just keeps on going now. I mean, history is repeating itself. You give a game that has a level of skill like this, then you're going to have, MVP performances like Simp. You're going to have flow state moments like Abeezy. And you're going to have absolute, like, insane games where it is to the neck when those top two teams go at it and go to battle.
Mm-hmm. You give Simp 150 health COD, and he does wonders.
Crazy. Imagine that. I mean, but yeah, Simp is your major 2 MVP, rightfully so. Big applause for him. Big applause. I mean, the guy's been consistent since day one, and it's been crazy.
Scott, I don't know if you remember like one of the first like episodes of the Storm. Whenever I think we talked about like the GOAT discussion, and I remember saying Simp, and I was like, I don't care how early it is. I don't care if he's still playing in the league. I don't care. That guy's the GOAT, dude. He's still winning. Like, since I've said that, he's still been winning. It's so crazy to me.
I think he's only been in the league for what, 5 years? Since BO4?
Average champs placement's like
third.
2.5 or like second, bro. Like, I don't even know, bro. It's so crazy, bro. So wild.
I mean, what was it? The CDL Intel put out like a crazy stat. Yeah. Where's it at? What Simp and Abeezy are as like a duo. How much?
T2P, didn't they take over T2P finally? Like the win record. They have a better win record than Scum Performa now or something like that.
Man, I wish I could find that tweet, man. But that,
I think they're tied for longest, or they just became like the longest reigning duo.
yeah,
Not
I
sure.
think they are the longest reigning duo if I remember. But I mean, yeah, like when do Simp and Abizi into the top 5 of all time conversation? I'd say they're already there.
I
You
was
know,
like I said, bro. Simp has been there for me at least for years now. So
Yeah. Did you see the? It was one of the things I saw. It was like, what happens if you take FaZe right now versus the Optic Dynasty from IW? Who wins in a best of 5 series? And Scum says, or it was like a best of 7. Scum's like, yeah, we 4 them. I don't know,
honestly,
man.
that's a tough one, dude.
IW
That's a
I don't know
tough
because
one, dude.
I
IW
don't.
Formal was the best player I've ever seen in my life, though. IW Formal
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
unguardable,
Yeah,
especially IW Champs Formal.
Hmm.
That was insane.
A
That guy was
1-7,
insane.
a 174 KD or something like that. Like,
Yeah, like come on,
but you can't. You gotta give credit where credit's due. I mean, these guys are.
these guys are
They,
insane.
yeah, they're at the top for a reason.
you know, with all the advancements going into AI and stuff, you know, someday we'll get it. Someday it will happen. I think we'll see like a 40 for 40 or something, like a last minute, you know, last dance, you know, documentary where they do the AI of this squad of the trio phase versus, like, let's say, you know, IW Optic, or even, you know, BO2 Optic. I don't know, AW Optic, whatever the iteration we want to look at. That will be the day. That'll be the day. But kind of looking at it, I mean, going forward, I mean, talking about kind of the craziness that went on post the major. I mean, Draza, he's beaten Optic twice now this year within the top 4 placements, and I mean, goodness gracious, putting the CEO of Optic. I mean, what do you
Did you see when they?
what are y'all thinking? What are y'all thinking?
See,
Hold on,
I mean, CEO of Optics crazy.
that's
Granted,
wild.
He's only played him from Vanguard to now. Um, but
Yeah.
I don't think calling yourself the CEO of Optic just yet is is a smart move on his part.
Yeah, you see
It's
right
gonna come
here.
back to bite him.
Yeah, dude is
I think
trying
he's
to
just
so
trolling.
hard to be the villain. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was
he's
just
trying to
trolling.
take
I didn't
over.
take him serious at all.
Did you see when they went to the bar that they had the big sign that said
Yeah,
Yeah,
CEO
yeah,
of
yeah.
that's
Optic?
exactly that was the next
thought
tweet
that
I was
was
gonna
funny.
show. The top of CEO Optic.
This is crazy.
That is kind of funny.
That's I
Damn,
mean,
he's looking good though. I can't lie. Draws is looking pretty handsome.
Yep.
he's been working, man. He's been working. He
He's
got
been working.
I think he's got veneers, dude. So, like, I mean, he's got like a top tier smile now. I mean, your smile's everything. Word to Nate shot, but
Yep.
but
I mean, especially having you know your own the most hated par say female girlfriend in the scene. Ugh, the drama that comes with that is crazy.
yeah, the drama that comes with it is crazy. But we'll go into that here in a second. But I mean, just to kind of end the chapter on Major 2, we'll go into challengers here in a sec. But I mean, goodness gracious, what a shakeup of an event. The top 4 went absolutely insane. The matches were amazing to watch. I mean, there were some people tweeting about that, you know, this major should be like just blipped from existence. As a Call of Duty enthusiast, man, I love every minute of it. It was amazing to watch, being there in person, feeling the energy, feeling that tenacious attitude in the air that every team is fighting for that opportunity, that chance to be the best. I mean, we just literally got off of that Clayster documentary, One Shot, shout out Breaking Point, where he said, I just want that winning feeling again. And to all these newcomers like Gwyn and Cole, you know, like Snoopy, this is their chance where they want to cement their legacy and greatness and start off strong. You know, when you've got tenured players like Simp already, who are those winning players that have came into the league and are doing their best. And I mean, at that point, you just gotta take it for what it's worth, enjoy the moments while you can, and just aspire for that greatness.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
You know. So kind of moving on with that, let's talk about Miami Open, Major 2. Absolute insanity, real quick. Just absolutely insane. I mean, literally, this squad
Some of
was
the
a
upsets.
pickup squad. Pickup squad.
2 days before the event.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, if that doesn't tell you the amount of talent that is in challengers, I mean, good Lord. Good Lord. But
Wait to I can't
give
wait
me
to go
give me your
back to open
insight, Ray.
bracket.
Give me your insight. What did you
I
think of this
mean,
event? You were playing in the pit. You were there
yes,
along with me. What did you think?
some of the upsets that happened this weekend from just spectating alone was kind of insane. I mean, these teams are getting better at this game, and to see a team of gunless classic Dak and Barack take down, you know, the phase phenoms or like all these ex pros with just a pickup team. It shows that when talent or when hard work doesn't put in the talent, talent works hard, or whatever the
Talent
saying
beats
is.
hard work.
Yeah,
No,
I
no.
mean,
Hard work beats
it's
talent whenever
talent.
talent doesn't work hard. That's what it is.
These guys definitely reversed that one on a dime, and to not have gunless or classic in the league is crazy to me with only having 12 teams. But we never know what happens next year. Hopefully we go back to like a big open bracket style tournament, and these guys start getting back in there.
Yeah, that'll be
But the pit was pitting. Might I ask you, the amount of clips of shit talking and the passion that was there was Miami was a movie.
It really was. It really was with everything that was going on around it, everything that was going on in it. Look, just to kind of give my 50 cents on this event and where I was this weekend. I was working with Esports Engine, being a referee, being able to see all this stuff go down firsthand. I mean, it was amazing, and something to kind of know as well with this win was the fact that Gunless, Classic, DAC, and O4 reverse swept. This was no regular victory, ladies and gentlemen. This was a reverse sweep, absolute slammage against FaZe Black. I gotta find the scrappy tweet. It's somewhere where FaZe Black beat, I believe it was Omit EU, and you had Joe Deceives and Exceed saying to Hixie, you're nothing without Scrap. And Scrap absolutely slammed him. Called them bottom of the barrel CDL players. Because if you think about it, when Joe was in the league, when Exceed was in the league, granted they didn't have the best, opportunities surrounding them. But the fact of the matter is, those guys were very much at the bottom of the barrel. It is without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, that those guys were very much lower tier players when it came to the majority of talent that was present in their time in the league.
Yeah. And I was told that Nikki D Classic, I think it was once they went down 0-2, he popped a double Zin and said it's time to lock in. And from there on, I think dropped like a 1-3 to reverse sweep. It was the most craziest thing I've probably ever witnessed. Shout out Zin.
Shout out freaking Classic for that. Wow,
Not
that's
sponsored,
crazy.
by the
That's
way.
so
Yeah.
Not sponsored.
That's so funny.
Non-sponsored.
Non-sponsored, but a little upper decky for the Dubskis.
No, a
An upper
double
and a lower.
Upper
Yeah,
and a
upper-
lower
upper
decky.
and
I mean,
he popped 2 6 milli vanillis and he was
6 million. Hey man, shout out, Classic, man.
I gotta get that guy's flavor choice. I need what he has.
Put him on.
Facts.
But
Also, I just want to
say.
What were you gonna say?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say that I was really happy for 04 because I know a lot of people were,
Saying
including me.
cheating
At one
stuff.
point, I thought he was cheating. I'm not gonna lie. At one point, I did think he was cheating, and I know so many people thought he was cheating, and so many people would say it anytime you do good, like, yo, this guy, he's like, he's not legit, whatever. And he comes over to a major and he wins. So congrats to him, for real.
Speaking
And
on
Dak,
that,
glad for him too. I'm happy for
Yeah.
Dak.
speaking on that, did you guys hear about the gamer Kodo? I think is what his name is.
Yeah,
Kodo Pro or whatever. I mean,
that he got DFR twice again.
yeah. I mean, you gotta think, man. Some of these people, they I don't think he's cheating per se. I think it's more so a comfortability thing. Like you got to think you're in your room, lights out, 8 hours a day. You're in your comfortable state, and then you go to where you have hundreds of people watching you. Like nerves do kick in, and like I think people just need to stop going straight to the this guy's cheating aspect and just start thinking about like the comfortability of where you are as a player.
Understandable. I mean, Land's gonna expose no matter what. LAN is gonna expose. LAN will always be the common denominator, no matter where you are online.
Mm-hmm.
It does not matter. LAN is loving. LAN is brutal. LAN is rewarding, and LAN is fair. Yes, LAN is where you will find the answers
We're
you
also not
seek.
playing on LAN anymore, but
Yeah,
that's besides
sadly.
the point.
I mean, it is a
We go-
private server. From what I've heard, it's
what
a
do we
private
have
server.
to do to go back to console? I mean, give me a PS5 or an Xbox, and I promise you, some of these people are not the same.
It's one word, my friend.
Sucks,
One
but
word,
it's-
money. One word, money.
Yeah.
That's really all it is. It's just cutting the middleman out. We've talked about this millions of times. It's just cutting the middleman out. Not having to work with that Xbox marketplace. Not having to work with, PlayStation Network, all that. I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, we're just here living the vibe, trying to survive. But big shout outs to Gunless Classic Dak and 04. Absolutely massive weekend. I was real happy for Dak. Dak's a real nice guy. The interactions I've had with him, he's a real nice, wholesome dude. He's real nice.
Yep.
So to see him win in that capacity after the hard work that I've heard he's put in, big shout out to him. But big ups to him. What were you gonna say?
Shout out that couple blinkers.
Yeah, shout out Dax.
Shout
Definitely
out.
a deserved one for the boys.
Yeah, very nicely done. So kind of moving on. Get into where the gloves are coming off now. All the competition is done and settled. It got crazy. All right, it got crazy post major event. We're not gonna go too deep into it because we're not we're not Tac Rab. We're not Tac Rab here, but shout out Tac Rab, the real champion of Major 2. This man, I mean, he's at the McLaren dealer, he's at the Porsche dealer. Man's just picking out what color he wants his Bugatti later on, and this is why. I mean, immediately after the event, literally 8:42 p.m. Darian, Scrap's girlfriend, came out. There was a bit of some talk before, but this is where I think the gas hit the fire. Acted real tough on the timeline where there's an Excel spreadsheet of DMs going around. This girl is sent to COD Pros in reference to Keeks, Draws' girlfriend. My God, I mean,
I was driving home when all this was breaking down. I think I cried laughing with Hawk the entire way home. Him reading these out to me.
I mean,
it was just shot for shot for shot for shot. At this point, we gotta get a COD girlfriend boxing league going on.
Something.
And we gotta put the gloves on because holy, this drama was crazy.
I mean, what'd you think, Mike? What'd you think, man?
I got out of work and I was like, damn, this is crazy. I didn't really read that much into it though. I saw like 3-4 tweets and I was like, I don't really want to see this anymore. So I just kind of like stopped even looking for it, honestly.
Yeah, I feel you. But then, Keeks responded, who says, "Baby girl, you haven't passed around more than a hockey puck. You were effing the whole OHL." And from research, the OHL is the Ontario Hockey League. So this isn't like the NHL. This is just the OHL. This is some G League stuff from what I'm hearing. While your boyfriend was in middle school, stop worrying about me. Worry about not being the number one puck bunny. Aren't you like 32? Damn! I mean, that's not right. I mean, goodness gracious. But that's kind of all we're gonna go into that. I don't want to go too much into it because it was like Ray said, it was shot for shot. Like these girls were throwing some hands. There were some hands, and these hands had some brass knuckles, some gloves. It was scary.
Unless there's some actual hands.
They popped off the nails real quick for those.
Yeah, exactly. It was dirty and it was bad. You guys can go watch the Tac Rap video. I wonder what it's at right now, but it's kind of fueling off of that fire. Shout out to my boy Gersh. Coming up April 21st, pay-per-view. There's going to be some side events. Book your calendar. Book everything. Atlanta FaZe going up against Toronto Ultra. Goodness gracious. I'm ready to go watch that one. Let's go to April 21st already. It's just a shame that we have to kind of hold on to beef from, from March into April. But good Lord. We'll see what happens when that one comes. The pay-per-view is going to go absolutely insane. Eminem's gonna perform at the halftime. It's gonna be great.
What?
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
The mid-series halftime show.
Between maps 2 and 3, we're gonna have Eminem come out, play Survival, Rap God, Berserk. You know the good stuff. All right, but the kind of the good stuff.
Get the diss track going now.
Yeah, get the diss track going. Drake's gonna need to pull up to respond back to the whole rap industry going after him. But to kind of close up real quick, let's look at the old tier list from last major. This is where we had everybody at that moment. We had Ultra and FaZe up at S tier. Then we had Optic at A. You know, better days ahead because of what happened with that unfortunate top 12 placement from the subliners. Miami, there were no better days ahead. You are still in hell.
Still.
We are very much bad vibes forever right now with Miami Heretics. I'm so sorry, baby girl. It's gonna get okay. It's gonna be okay. On the come up, Minnesota, Seattle, LAG, Ravens. I would say for the most part, LAG and Ravens is very much true. Seattle, I mean, they're still in hell. They're still in hell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're just, good Lord.
They're in bring Ellie back, please. Something.
It's just a mess right now. And then we had Anita roster swap. That was LA Thieves, Boston, Vegas. And we did see some movement. Kremp did get added in. Nasty was added in as well. And it did show some new signs of life, I will admit. Granted, there's still some more growing pains with that squad. LA Thieves always has been that culture of growing together. So they'll have more, better days ahead for them. But let's just kind of reset the whole bracket now real quick. Just reset. Clear row. But what are you guys' initial thoughts with the rosters now, kind of post Major 2?
I think Gio getting added to this Paris team, I mean, he is the Lord and Savior that they needed.
Yeah.
And it's just uphill from that team right there. That guy is a different breed. Might add he's using one of my controllers.
Oh, a little shameless plug. No, I'm just kidding. A little shameless plug. Oh, good.
Nah, that guy's who they needed.
Very much so.
Speed and everything.
Very much so. I mean, the difference between when Standy was on the team versus when he's on the team, night and day. Mike, what'd you think?
Yeah, I think Paris is gonna be looking good, but I think we'd leave FaZe still at the top. Honestly, FaZe is still up there.
FaZe is gonna be in their
own
bracket.
All right, there you go. Let's just keep
from
FaZe
potential 0-2, from potential getting 3-0'd by LAG to winning an event. You got to be in your own caliber of locked.
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, it's Vegas, y'all. Vegas Legion. I know. I know we're still thinking of Paris, but it's Vegas. Shout out to Vegas.
I really want a Paris team, man. Come on.
I know. The EU responds and cry with you, so I feel you. Okay, clearly, I mean, we have to put Optic up.
Minor improvement, probably. I think.
Minor improvement.
I think we put them in A.
I agree.
They got some locking in to do.
They're like I said, they're almost there. They're almost there, being at that elite S tier level. Ultra, I feel like we need to put them at minor improvement as well, but just right below Optic. And not saying that they're bad, but their meta, their style, their gameplay has been adapted to. It has been adapted to. It's time to hit the drawing board. I know those boys are smart. I know they'll come up. They'll come out of that mountain of progress looking a lot better. So, I feel comfortable putting them right below Optic in the minor improvement needed. They just need to swap up but swap up the chemistry of the game, switch the equation, add a couple variables, some more, multiplication, whatever you want to use in your lingo. But, not too bad. New York subliners. I think also A. I feel like the top four for a reason. They are indisputable. Granted, they did have that rough Major 1, but it's all good. All's well, ends well. They come out top 4, absolutely insane. And looking back at it now, I mean, these guys are different. The D-Real, Sender, Hydra, Kiz, Sib, Sky. I mean, these guys are different. These guys are different. They are
Yep.
they are absolutely making some good plays. They're making some good movement. They're just at the precipice, just like these other two, where they are very much a championship contending team, and we will very much see where they go into Major 3, into the qualifiers. Miami Heretics,
Blow it.
we need a roster
Yeah,
swap.
indeed.
We need a roster swap. We thought that there were better days ahead based off the qualifiers from Major 1. Very much not the case. There is a big foundational issue that we need to address very soon. Very soon. Because this squad should not, from what we saw in the Major 1 qualifiers and from what we heard coming into the year, this squad should not be struggling this much. And they unfortunately are. So we're going to have to see some sort of foundational change come into that. And we got hope for the Spanish boys. We got hope for the Spanish boys. I mean, we're all about taking that vamos, It's
You just need one map win. One map win and the crowd will erupt.
Yeah. Exactly. And I know they're as much as we critique them, I'm sure they're very much hard on themselves too, because at the end of the day, you guys are players. You understand it at the end of the day. When you are unable to really compete to the level that you can, I mean, it's heartbreaking. It sucks.
It is heartbreaking.
It sucks when you're a lot better than that. So, unfortunately, we will need to see something change out of them. Los Angeles Gorillas. I think there are better days ahead. These guys are making some moves.
They are.
Yeah.
They are making some moves, and I am very much here for it. You guys know, and to all the new viewers out there, we're big Kevin Fame fans. Like, we love Kevin Fame. He's an absolute stud, great guy, works hard, great work ethic. I mean, just hearing him, by the way, giving a little 1-for-1, witness testimony here. Hearing him go absolutely insane in the Challengers Pit this weekend, talking to Tyler Noisy, giving him the comms that he needed to make some good plays. I mean, I can't even imagine what it's probably like behind closed doors. From just what I heard, with a little bit of between him and Noisy, I was like, this guy's great, man. Like, he has a great mindset, great head on his shoulders. He's making some good plays. Big shout outs to him. Astriel, Assault, Diamond Con. Those boys are making something happen. We know there's some better days ahead.
I love redheads. What do you think of Seattle Surge, though?
Blow it up.
Oh man,
I say they need the Patrick Price Aches motto, and they need to clean house and try again, just like Heretics.
Honestly, I just hate that they have all the tools, but are just not able to have the instructions. They've got the tools, they've got the set, they just don't have the instructions of how to build this team that they have. I feel like a lot of the times they make some good showings. They look at themselves and they have some pretty decent light in them. But I mean, when you come out into this tournament and you're looking like the way you are, I mean, goodness gracious, like what do you have to say for yourself when you lose to Las Vegas 3-1?
I mean, this is just another World War II LAG Gorillas just reskinned. So that's basically what it is. It's a reskinned MW2 Gorillas, and these guys, with the talent that they have, and they're not producing. I mean, you bring in Brezzy, and it's still down in the dumps. I mean,
Yeah, I think they're also probably D tier. I think they're better than the Heretics, though. At least they
yeah,
win a map.
definitely that.
but-
Yeah, definitely that.
We'll put them ahead of the Heretics on a roster swap. But
I definitely think they need to like revamp in this little split we have and dig into those challenger players.
something's got to give.
Something.
Something has got to give on that roster, whether it be a big foundational change within the squad or within their management and their coaching. Something's got to give. And so we will see what they do with that. And, kind of looking at it right now, next one on the list, Minnesota Rocker. I mean, they had a really good game against the Boston Breach. They go game 5,
I
but
put them on the come
then
up.
but then
I'll put him in
they
C.
get slammed by LAG 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Yeah.
looking at the stats for it, it was really close in the hard point. Map 1. And then they got 6-3, 3-1, and then 250, 179 in map 4. So
I think I'd put them in C tier.
they're definitely on the come up. It just, you know, they're figuring out the recipe. The recipe's in there somewhere. They just need to really hammer it down, you know. But they're very much a top 12 team, no doubt. They are, I mean, they're just above needing a roster swap.
Yep.
Better
Yeah.
days ahead. We got to put Carolina.
Yeah.
We got to
You
put
gotta
Carolina.
above LAG. Gotta.
Yeah.
They're cooking. They know what they're doing. They're making some good adjustments. Very much so. Very much so. Now, would I take LAG or Ravens? I think I'm taking LAG. I think I'm taking LAG.
Yeah.
I'm taking LAG on that one because I mean, you saw how LAG went out. They went out against the Toronto Ultra 3-1. But it was a bit more of a fight than compared to Carolina going up against New York. And I mean, that one.
The Bulldog took over.
The Bulldog took over. It was close though. The 250 to 166 Rio was their only beatdown. The Search and Destroy was around 11, and the Control on High Rise was a 3-2. But still, I mean, I very much trust LAG in this instance than Ravens. But still, they're both better days ahead. It's coming. It's coming. It'll be here soon enough. Now next, this one, I mean, I want to hear what you guys think. Boston Breach.
I put him in C.
I'd put him in C behind Rocker, I think.
Yep.
I feel like they
think-
just got out of their fraud watch, you know?
Mm.
It's
I think with a team with Snoopy, I mean you're getting led by one of the most winning, like one of the greatest main AR leaders, a guy who got dropped from his champs win, and these guys need to figure it out.
I mean, they lost to the
Yeah.
Minnesota Rocker, you know.
Yeah.
Boston went crazy in that map 248 to 138. Then afterwards, it was just the Minnesota masterclass. I mean, goodness gracious. You had 6-2 in the second map, 3-0 in the invasion. Then Boston come back in the hard point 250 to 141. And then they get beaten in the Rio S&D by Minnesota 6-3. At the end of the day, I think it's just the AR duo. They're really slow. They are super slow. And that's kind of the same thing that I feel with Minnesota. I feel like that AR duo is just way too slow. Like there will be a roster swap for sure post Major 3 if they don't come absolutely insane.
Mhm.
Because those AR duos on both of those squads are kind of horrendous. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of roster swaps, though, I think Thieves is looking to
They're-
pick up 04 or something, or Dak. One of those guys, looks like.
Yeah.
With Afro going on the bench now.
We're going back to our Cold War Thieves mantras. Just plug and play till something works.
Yeah. I would definitely put them in front of the Heretics and the Seattle Surge, though. That's for sure.
Yeah. You're almost 3-0ing phase. You gotta be doing something right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're definitely on the come up. They
You
are.
think they're on the come up?
I definitely think they're on the come up, but I just feel like
I mean, I only put them in D tier because literally they are gonna roster swap. Like that's the only
Okay,
reason I put them in
okay,
D tier because they
okay.
are gonna actually roster swap.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. The only thing to me is I just the nasty Afro duo. I've never really seen anything great out of that duo. You know, and I feel like it's a whole nother rocker situation where you're like, that's your friend? Okay, we're gonna trust your friend. You know? And you know, like JCap, like he's gonna need to put his foot down and not, like you said, Ray, let this be a whole nother plug and play, see what works, see what doesn't work every event, and then by the time we get to champs, we're like, holy crap, we're like on the 7th iteration of this roster, and we are going nowhere right now. So
I want to see a gunless nasty swap, real bad.
A
Or bring
gunless
in,
in the league
or
again would be crazy.
yes, I want to see gunless back in the league or classic back in the league. Like they need to pick up two of those guys for sure.
Gunless, if anything. I don't see classic going back. To be honest with you,
Mm.
maybe a sub, maybe.
Give me a Pierce. Give me a Pierce Paul.
I
One
mean,
time for the
Classic's already the sub for FaZe. I mean,
yeah.
if you wanted to be a substitute anywhere, I'd rather be at FaZe or Optic. I would not want to be a substitute at like Vegas or like or like friggin' Boston. Like, I would not want to be a substitute there. Poor Pentagram. Pentagram's been a substitute for how many years now, and he's yet to see his limelight. You know,
He should, bro. He's so good too.
he's so good. He's so good. And now, lastly, Vegas Legion. I think
I think I'm
A strong B.
I think there are better days ahead. I think they're ahead of these two, and they're.
I don't know about LAG. I don't know about LAG, to be honest with you. But, hey,
Let's look at the
he-
stats.
yeah, bro.
Let's look at the stats real
I'm
quick.
not gonna lie.
Majority rules. What do you
I'm
think,
taking.
Ray? What do you think,
I'm
Ray?
taking. I'm taking a Legion over Gorilla series. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Really? All right
Yeah,
then.
I
All right,
think-
So then,
I-
all right, so then they
I
are
think-
in front of. All right.
But then
I
again, hold on. Before the jury sets the motion, looking at the stats, Carolina did beat Vegas game 5. They did beat them game 5, round 11. So,
Ugh.
and we did say earlier, kind of calling back, we did say earlier that we would take an LAG over a Ravens game.
We did say that.
So
We did say that.
mediating this compromise, I think we just keep him in the middle of the pack and B. Because
Okay, I'll take that.
because really any one of these teams, if they have that moment, they have that clutch factor, they have that X factor, they're feeling themselves, each one of those could beat each other. Realistically.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you look at like the Ravens matchup that they had against Vegas, they 3-0'd them in the control. There didn't really seem like much of a fight. I mean, and looking at it right now, I mean, LAG, yeah, they 3-1'd the Thieves, and then they, you know, unfortunately lost to Toronto Ultra 1-3, and it was a pretty good fight. I will admit, watching that series was pretty good. I mean, the hard point was 177 to 250. LAG beat Toronto in the high rise search and destroy 6-2. Then Karachi was a 3-1, and then the sub base was a 250 to 178. So I mean, in terms of middle of the pack teams versus the top 4, pretty decent fight. Might I say.
Yeah.
So
I like where we're at right now.
I was about to
I
say,
like the
how do we
list.
feel?
Yeah, I think this is a pretty valid list.
Very good. Well, gentlemen, it was an amazing show. I had a great time. Big shout out. We gotta show love again. We gotta show love to the Bulldog. Big shout out to the Bulldog. Kismet, thank you so much for the raid. We appreciate you. We love you. We love what you're doing for us guys like us trying to make content on the come up here within the scene. You know, we don't have as big as a pool as like Zuma or like Breaking Point, but we try to do what we do. We show the passion that we've got. We try to show love to the players and their dedication. You know, I always like to bring on people within the scene that, you know, within the next decade will be running the scene. You look at Ray, he's making great moves. Guys are making some good moves as well inside the scene. You know, Mike over here, absolute stud, amazing player, amazing content creator. He's making some moves. Me, I'm caster within the CDL's talent pool for challengers, you know, college COD as well. We're all on the come up here, and we love to highlight and talk about these guys and what they do. That's what the Storm is. It's just a conglomeration of stories, people, you know, indications of talent. That's why it's called the Storm. It's just a big conglomeration where we get to talk about the things we love. So, you know, big shout out to Kismet. Thank you so much for what you did for the raid. We'll be seeing you guys very soon. Mike, Ray, anything you want to say before we head out?
Nothing much.
Ray, you got it.
Yeah, nothing much. Just, you know, hopefully Major 3 goes to what we expect, and this game stops being paper wall thin, and we can actually enjoy ourselves.
I agree. I
Yeah,
agree. And Mike,
Scott, I would just like to thank you for hosting another episode for us. You are a great host, and you're an even better person. And I'm
Thanks
glad
for
to be
having-
here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
I appreciate you gentlemen so much. We're gonna be going to spread this love around because at the end of the day, what goes around comes around, and we wanna show some love to everybody here in the community. We're gonna be going here in a second. We're gonna go raid the homie Gersh right now. So thank you guys so much. Make sure you go show the same love that you showed me and everybody here at the Storm. We'll be seeing you guys with the Major 3 show. We'll make sure to get that one live. Me and Mike will make sure that we get that one going. But make sure that you guys go show some love to Gersh. Thank you all so much. You guys are amazing. Thank you for everybody who followed, all the subs that came through. And without further ado, go enjoy Gersh, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.
I'll see ya.
Damn.
Major 2, bro.
All right.
No, I know, but who's every one team?
Thank you, gents.
Yeah,
I
Joe
really
started
appreciate y'all for
That's
coming
fun.
on
bro. That's my guy.
and having some
Thanks for
fun
having
with
me.
us.
Susano.
OG Susano.
Major 1, it was Joe, Afro, Dan, and
They finished
Oh, man.
T12.
Now it's Val time.
1, 2,